All right, so back at it, back in court. Welcome back. So what is happening? We're in the middle of a trial for the fucking bizarre murder of that shit ass doctor who got killed by seemingly a dead spirit of a nurse, but we're still trying to figure that all out. Gumshoe is about to kind of put together the situation that happened and give another testimony, I believe. So let's see what my dear, fucking beautiful hunk of fucking meat Gumshoes. Look at that smile. Look at it. Look at him. I love him. Where are his lips? I don't know where his lips are. Find him in my pussy. No, sorry. I'm gonna go. Okay, so let's see what he has to say. Stop whipping him! Oh my god. You may remember her from the last video. She has a whip and she also has a fucking bad attitude. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. He always calls her sir, and I kind of like it because it's kind of like proves a point. What transpired? During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. Okay, so she acted in self-defense. Oh, but I said not guilty. That's the whole issue here, is that I said not guilty, not just like accidental, like self-defense or whatever. Ugh, how annoying. The scenario you have put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, on the surface, it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. Please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please. Here we go. What exactly am I looking to push? Let's see. Alright, channeling the victim saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Okay. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. Why did he have a gun? Where in the world did that pistol... Oh, that's not his voice. Where in the world did that pistol come from? It looks like the victim, Dr. Gray, had specifically brought it for that... The voices, they elude me. They elude me so. But a handgun. He got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder. Why did Dr. Gray bring a gun? Was he taking precautions against something? No offense, and like I know this doesn't like prove anything definitively, but somebody buying a handgun off the black market 2 days before a scenario like this is kind of sketchy in its own right and shows that something is at play here, right? Come on, you guys. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. I'm going to press on that just because I can. So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but yeah, that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired. Maya, I'm really glad you weren't hurt. Oh, she's readying that whip. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. Maya's never fired a gun before in her life. The victim had already taken off the safety. With the safety off, even an amateur like you can fire it just by pulling the trigger. Even me. I wonder if I'm gonna kill somebody. Stop! Every time she does these things, she like mocks me. She just sits there and mocks me. Whoever developed this game and made her really killed it with making her frustrating. Now do you understand? Avon Karma's logic is perfect. His testimony certainly makes us look very bad. But there's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. And uncovering it is going to uncover the truth. I can feel it. Yeah, there's definitely gotta be one in there, but I did not immediately notice it. And how embarrassing for me on the internet to be recording me missing things. Okay, let's see. Let me look at my evidence again. Maybe I need to present something, yeah? I keep looking at that floor plan like it's going to do something for me. It's not. Not yet. Okay, stabbed in the chest and shot point blank. Gunpowder residue on the bullet hole. Bullet that proves it is point blank. Does her bullet hole have gunpowder residue? Seemingly not. Maybe they didn't draw it because it's not important, but maybe it is important and they didn't draw it. Okay, during the channeling, the defendant's longer chest is in the chest. Of course, the victim used their strength to fight back. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. But they weren't that close because there's no gunpowder? Yeah, maybe. Because if they were close, there'd be gunpowder around the hole. Missing the tiny hole in this costume will be the prosecution's undoing. Eh? What do you mean? I'm onto something. This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony. There's probably plenty of times that could be said in court. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where's the gunpowder burn on this costume? I was onto something. Not me being a little genius. Fucking Mensa brain over here. Gunpowder. Burn. This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh! But there's not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume. Oh, the hubbub. That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. Ooh, I don't know if I've heard her voice before. That was kind of nice. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix, right? You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? The amount of times we're saying hole during this case is riveting. With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away. It's called being persuasive. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How was that? As if that was even possible. According to testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. Yeah, he couldn't have stood, you guys said earlier. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Ooh, got her. Well then, that's right, the defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you. That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I must be careful, I can't afford to make a mistake here. Oh, my health bar came up, I'm scared. Concentrate and think. Something doesn't make sense because I don't want to agree with her. What doesn't make sense? Well, let me actually think. I just kind of make choices without thinking because when I'm playing while it's recording, my brain's moving too fast. Let me relax and think. What doesn't make sense there? Yeah, why would she go a distance and not wrestle the gun back? There's a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor. Fatal? Flaw? Yow! Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts this line of thinking. Whoa, they want me to start thinking. Okay, let's see. Is it finally this? I mean, there's not a lot of room to create space or to rush him. I'm thinking it's going to be that. Yeah, it's got to be the floor plan. Take a look at this. Why are you showing this to me, pal? Prosecutor Von Karma's explanation in this piece of evidence do not contradict. Fuck me. Haha, looks like you need to use your brain a little more, pal. Ugh, being lectured by Gumshoe of all people is so embarrassing. Come on, hurry up and get that thinking cap on. So, she put some distance between them before making the final blow. What really contradicts that? Probably this hole in the folding screen. Because... why? Because why? Because the gun was only shot twice. One, that was at the man. Twice, that went through her sleeve. So the one that went through her sleeve must be the one that also hit the screen, which would make sense because, like, a sleeve's not going to stop a bullet. And if it's 8 inches off the ground, she clearly was not readying to rush, because you don't rush lying or crouching down 8 inches off the ground. And the hole in the sleeve wasn't that low, was no, because the sleeve goes up the arm. Yeah, so she had to have been close to the ground. So this. So let's go ahead and present that. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic. What is that, a folding screen? I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. Ah! It looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Who? Where? What? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please. Are these two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, like I fucking said, because I'm a fucking genius with a fucking Mensa brain. Then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means she couldn't have been readying to rush him. When the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the ground. Oh. Order. This changes everything. Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot. And when the bullet hit this folding screen, it hit at this location, about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. Oh, y'all want me to place her? What-oh? So probably like she was probably like right in front of it, yeah? Hopefully, let's see. She was standing here, near the folding screen. Wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole. But how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? No, because then we'd have the what's it called? The burn from the gun. The point blank, because it said like 6 to 12 or whatever. You of all people should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. Oh, you of all people should put a. If she were shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume, as we've gone over. Ah! Curse you, Phoenix. Right, you. I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation? It changes everything, sir. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at that time? Squatting all the way by the folding screen? Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Yeah. Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason. Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Oof. Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the Blast radius of disaster. You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix, Wright. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. Of all the things inherent, why did it have to be the smarmy smile? Smarmy, I like that word. Not the whip. Don't do it. If you whip Gumshoes one more time, I'm pushing you off that podium. How dare you damage my perfect logic? Huh? How is it all my fault? You can start repairing your standing by first removing that 3-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured that your punishment will come later. Punishment? Well then, Your Honor, I think I have had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? That's gotta be Lotta. Oh god, that's gotta be Lotta. Oh boy, here we go. Get ready for a fucking show, you guys. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. And while they do, I'm gonna adjust my leg because I've been sitting the same way for too long and it is starting to hurt my leg. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we'll hear from the next witness. Here we go. To be continued. I would love to end the video there because that's a good ending point. But then it's like kind of a short video, but also who cares? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and save. I'm gonna end the video here. I know it's a short one, but nobody's actually watching these, I imagine. And also anybody that is, like, can grow up. So thanks for watching all the normal things. Cannot wait to see what the fuck Lotta has to say in the next video. All right, bye.